So I want to play the classics from the top. I think anybody who's just a huge draft fan knows who the big college names are, but lay them out for us. Who are the top college prospects coming out this year?
I think the big three, I mean, there's actually like the big eight, but the big three for me are Jack Caglione from Florida, two-way guy, first base, left-hand pitcher, Travis Bazzana from Oregon State, second baseman with power who can run, and then Charlie Condon, 2-year start at Georgia, outfielder, first baseman. Some think he can play third. I'm not one of them, but hey, I've been wrong before. Alec Bohm is still playing third base at an average level or maybe slightly below, but just a 6'5" third baseman. Those are two. They don't come by too often, but those are the big three. And then we just kind of keep talking from there if you want me to.
No, even beyond those guys. So like, how far apart them? Like Braden Montgomery's had a huge year to start off. He's a switch hitter. We saw him the Super 60 out of high school. Was at Stanford. Now at A&M. How much has it helped him actually moving from the Pac-12 to the SEC and performing?
Yeah, Montgomery's a great example. He's really closed the gap. I mean, if it wasn't a year with Condon doing what he's doing and Bazzana continuing to do what he does, like Braden Montgomery, he could be in talks for 1-1, and maybe some clubs he is. He's had that type of year. He's really just polished and tightened up his right-handed swing has been his big key. It went from having numerous holes, basically just a book swing where you could get it in with the heat and you could throw the off speed away, you could spin it away from him, and not really being an out, but just you kind of like, well, he's going to be a left-handed hitter only, to what he is now. He's legit power, 70 juice from both sides, 6 arm in the outfield, profiles perfectly to right field. And then the two guys we had, well, I don't think we really had him really hyped up there, but two other guys that got hurt early and now they're back are J.J. Weatherholt, shortstop, second baseman from West Virginia, and Nick Kurtz, first base from Wake Forest, who is just unbelievable, easy power. And then, we haven't even talked about the two best pitchers, Hagen Smith from Arkansas and Chase Burns from Wake Forest. So in total, there are 8 premium college guys in my mind, and then a little fall off before you kind of get to the next tier.
Sorry, can I jump in and ask you a question about that? Is there a divide? Because I haven't been out and seen all these players, and I think of it in terms of like clusters. Those are the 8 premium college guys you're talking about. Is there a top cluster, or could these players be ordered in any? This is for you, I guess. Do they go in any order, or is there a clear top 2, or is there a clear top 3, or is it just no? These 8 players, I could see any one of them going 2, going 7, going 4.
Last year, I'll just compare it to last year. Last year, we had Cruz 1, Skeens 2, Langford 3, and then the last 2 weeks before the draft, our final list, we had Skeens 1, I think Langford 2, Cruz 3, or maybe it was Cruz 2 and Langford 3. But anyway, those were always the 3. Those were like the 3 guys. You pick one of those 3, you couldn't go wrong. Mm-hmm. This year, I actually think there's probably, Caglione, Bazzana, Condon, Montgomery. There's really 4 position players, and even Kurtz wouldn't be a bad pick because, he's just unreal, but he's a first baseman. I would personally never pick a first baseman 1-1. That's just me. A college first baseman 1-1, or really any first baseman. In Weatherholt, he was a guy for 1-1 before he, was injured earlier in the year and was out for, I think, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I'm really not answering a question, but I think it's similar to last year where, there's 4 guys there that would be great 1-1 picks. And then, with that said, those 2 pitchers, you can take those 2 guys in any order as well. But I do have my own order. My own order is Caglione, Bazzana, Condon, Burns, Smith, Montgomery, Weatherholt, Kurtz. Those would be my 8, how I'd line up my board to pick the college guys.
Can I ask you one more question? Sorry, jump in here, Shooter. I'm curious on Weatherholt because I've never seen him. I briefly at the Big 12 tournament, I saw him last year. How much is his injury going to hold him back, and should teams be thinking about that? He's a really good player from what I remember and what I saw. I don't know if he's really tooled up like a couple of these other guys. It's not like there's 65s and 70s all over the card, but he's one heck of a player. How much does the injury hold him back this year, and how are teams going to handicap that, you think?
Well, he's different to start with because he's twitchy and strong. Some guys are just strong and some guys are just twitchy. Weatherholt's just like twitchy strong, and he can hit for power. He can run. Again, not a shortstop. He doesn't really have a super great arm or super great hands, but he's going to be able to stay in the dirt. If not, he's a top of the order center fielder. Worst case. His hamstring injury this year by itself is not really concerned. He's come back from it. but he had another nagging injury with the CNT this summer. He could only hit. He didn't play the field. So he ran kind of 50% down to first base, and then they pinch ran for him at the CNT trials. Okay. And I think that's how he finished his sophomore season too. But he's had a couple, 3 nagging chronic type injuries. Those are seen, obviously, as you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but differently than a guy goes out and gets hit by a pitch and he breaks his finger. Like, that's, I hate to say unavoidable, but that is. Yeah. So as these chronic type things pile up, I think the concern raises. So for me, it would be an orange flag. Not necessarily no flag, but not necessarily like, hey, we're not taking this guy. We're not going to even consider him.